And the final sermon I'm going to read, from which I'm going to read, is a sermon, Here I Lie. Do you all remember the story of the paralytic man who was lowered down the roof to Jesus?
Yep.
Well, this is one of those cases where I took on the personality of the character and acted and spoke out of that, in that voice. Some people came, bringing to Jesus a paralytic man, carried by 4 of them. That's from the scripture. Here I lie on my mat, my permanent resting place. Since that day I was repairing the roof after a severe storm. I slipped and fell to the ground, landing on my back, been paralyzed since. My freedom of mobility, my easy engagement of life in labor and leisure, all gone. Making matters worse are the chastisements I receive from others, particularly my family. They question me about my sin, for nearly all believe in a causal connection between sin and suffering. What innocent person ever suffered or was abandoned by God, they demand. At first, I could think of no honest reply. I'm not perfect, but what sin caused me to fall from the roof? I was clumsy. I slipped. I lost my balance. I fell. That's it. That's all. But they persist. Surely something very grave caused this, they solemnly intone, while wringing their hands and pitying my stubborn resistance. I feel cornered. I want to resist their arguments, but I fear they might be right. Now, when you go on in the story, the friends lower the paralytic to Jesus. And Jesus says an enabling word that allows him to get up and walk. So my question I leave with you is, because paralysis takes all kinds of forms. Is there anything in your life where you see, you can envision the movement of what you'd like to become, yet you and I have yet to take a step? For all kinds of reasons. For me, it's largely fear. Even in the worst of myself, at least I know that. I am not going to be surprised by anything that comes from that. But if I take a step in the direction that I envision would be for me a larger, better self, it will be so new I won't know how to act. So sometimes the paralysis of staying stuck is a safe place to be. So I simply ask you, if you could hear an enabling word about some aspect or aspects, I mean, I got aspects, you may have just one, I got lots of them, aspect of my life, what would that be and to what would it be directed? So I leave you with that question.